He's one of the most sought-after speakers anywhere, invited by foreign governments, wealthy individuals, and even the occasional private company to share his unique blend of laughter and war. His book, Dangerous, sold over 200,000 copies, despite never being reviewed at any major publication.
This is a high-level debate tactic employed by Milo. He probably gave the guy in suspenders an amazing hot chocolate, and this guy liked it so much that he probably agreed to portray Milo as a Greek god and paint Destiny as some random female from the internet. This debate tactic is called the amaze him with some good ol' hot chocolate technique. Amazing.
I'm sorry, I was very rude to him earlier because he said hello to me in the hotel lobby and I didn't realize.
I said hello to him and he just walked right away.
No, I didn't. I just saw him. I was like, oh fuck. No, I didn't realize because he was very polite and so I was like, hey Milo. I was like, hey, and then I just went back to my business. You have different hair on the internet.
Milo reinforces the theme of Destiny being a random girl from the internet as he was expecting to see a girl with long hair. However, Destiny caught him by surprise by dressing up as a Mortal Kombat character.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I was very rude to you at the hotel.
You're fine. Don't worry about it.
It's okay. I'm just the intro guy. It's all good. It's all good.
I know, but you've got this aura of authority, and you've got these suspenders. These suspenders, they command explanations.
Fair enough. And our moderator, Brandon Strock, he's the founder of the Walkaway campaign, is a former liberal and former Democratic Party supporter who has very publicly walked away from the political left and created a social movement encouraging others to do the same. Brandon frequently provides commentary on Fox News as a recurring guest on Justice with Janine Pereiro, Fox and Friends, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, and many other television media outlets.
No, I don't like the masks.
Shady bitch.
No. You know, I'm not indifferent to you, but the social distancing is wonderful because it's how I wish everybody was all the time because I can't stand anyone. The masks are a nightmare, but social distancing is fabulous. I never want it to go away.
Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing? All right. Hi. My name is Brandon Strock. The name of our panel this evening is Sticks and Stones May Break My Bones, but can words actually hurt me?
Of course words can hurt people. Just the other day I was hanging out in DGG and some random chatter called me dumb. I haven't stopped crying ever since.
You know, I was actually known for a brief time in 2018 as the poor man's Milo Yiannopoulos, so it's really a pleasure to be sitting here.
No, that was Chadwick Moore. You were the poor man's Yiannopoulos in 2019.
It was still preferable. It was still preferable to the alternative, which was gay Candace Owens. I actually prefer this one. All right. So, guys, I want to start off tonight by kind of just asking you to define for me and for the audience in your own terms, just very simple question. I'm going to start with Milo. Milo, define hate speech. And before you answer, the reason why I'm asking this question, which is very basic, is that you are actually a very interesting character. I feel like I did a little research on you, and it's hard to actually pin down. You're not a typical, do you consider yourself a liberal?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, but you don't have particularly liberal views on speech, free speech, hate speech.
It depends. We'll get into it.
We'll get into it. Okay, great. So, Milo, can you define hate speech?
No, because nobody can.
Okay. Fair enough. Love it. Destiny, same question.
Milo subtly reinforces the fact that Destiny is a nobody by saying that nobody can define hate speech.
So hate speech, we can look at it at three different levels, basically, right? We've got legal definitions, we've got corporation definitions, and then we've got kind of our own personal, moral, ethical definitions. It really depends on the type of conversation we want to have. Like on the legal level, well, in America, I don't believe there's any definition for hate speech on the legal level. On the corporation level, usually hateful conduct is conduct that discriminates against like age, ethnicity, religion, whatever Twitter's, Facebook's, TOS says. And then on our own personal level, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, I guess.
So for the purpose of tonight's conversation, I think we're going to focus mostly on things like social justice, cancel culture, social media, how hate speech would apply to these kind of things. And so I didn't expect your definitions to be that brief, so we'll get right into the next segment.
Destiny and Milo can't help but look down after failing to please the moderator with their answers. Some psychologists may argue that the two are in a state of hyperarousal as they find themselves trying to please their new unexpected father figure.
Which is, can we compare emotional pain with physical pain? And so to get this kicked off, psychologists from Friedrich Schiller University in Germany had 16 subjects read pain-related words while imagining situations that corresponded to each word. During the experiments, participants had their brains scanned with functional magnetic resonance imaging. And the result was that Dr. Thomas Weiss told Live Science there was an activation in the pain matrix of the brain to subjects who heard pain words. So if we accept that there are reactions in the brain resulting from harmful words that are very similar to those when people feel physical pain, should we separate the two, Milo? Is emotional pain synonymous or worthy of discussion in regards to physical pain when it comes to being hurt by words?
Quite clearly, there are physical reactions observable from words. And it shouldn't surprise us, that shouldn't surprise anyone to hear me say, obviously words can be dangerous, words can be impactful, words can change the world. After all, they're proxies for ideas, which is about all we have. The question is can utterances, can something you say out loud affect material reality in a way that turns them into something a bit like magical spells? Can something that I say have a physical effect on you?
Yes, Milo, you can ask me out on a date. That would certainly have a big physical impact on me.
In a way that seems to reflect, in a sense, I guess, I mean, the closest thing I can think of prior to this debate popping up in the last 10 years is transubstantiation. And indeed, we're having this debate in the way that we're having it because our understanding of words and action is based in the incarnation. This is the linguistic and cultural basis of everything we're talking about. It is the Word made flesh. This is central Catholic doctrine. Transubstantiation. Can words become things? Can words affect things? Well, it seems to me that it's quite obvious that they can. You can produce particular reactions in people's brains, synapses, chemicals, and whatnot, with words they hear. The two questions, I suppose, are, if we agree that magical spells exist, one, do they operate independently of whether the subject knows what they're hearing? So can I avara cadabra you, and even if you don't know that spell, can you still be killed by it? And the second thing is, if we are going to allow that these magical spells exist, where in our model do we allow for the soul? We've got the body, we've got the mind, we have our studies, and he knows lots of these and has talked about them online a lot, and he's right about most of what he says. It can have a direct effect. But Descartes, I think, has misled us a little bit, and we're missing, in this question, the soul.
Milo is putting Descartes before the horse here. He is already rambling on about things while implicitly assuming that his underlying assumptions are true.
And it's the soul that mediates the two. It is the soul that has the power to say, that hurt me, but I'm not going to let it ruin my life. And it seems from the studies that I can tell, it seems as far as I can tell from the studies, rather, that although children's brain chemistry, the white matter, can be changed by really heavily, properly abusive language in the early years, it seems to be that people develop a kind of resilience. And unfortunately, what a lot of these studies seem to be doing is presenting the case for bullying, which I support, because the purpose of the soul in this tripartite dynamic is the mediating layer between the two. There's a words create a direct, chemical reaction, and then we have a moment where we can decide. Then we have agency. Then we have individual responsibility. It's at that point we can decide: is this going to be what and who I am from now on? Is this going to destroy my life? Am I going to get offended? And so, on the understanding of all that, can words create physical reactions? Absolutely. But are words violence in the way that a physical act is? I don't think so. Because if I punch you, it hurts whether you see it happen, whether you're even aware of it happening or not. But verbal abuse, if you like, doesn't function like that. There's something a bit more complicated going on, and it requires our participation. And our participation determines almost entirely what happens at the end of it.
I need to turn to Destiny with the same question, but one could certainly...
I was done.
The moderator valiantly endures as much spiritual talk as is humanly possible before getting Destiny to chime in.
One could certainly argue that although the effects are different, the results of emotional pain can be much longer lasting and much more scarring than the temporary physical pain that somebody experiences from being punched. But I want to ask you, sir, the very same question. If we know, or if science is suggesting that the brain can react in a way to emotional pain or the feelings from words in a way that is similar to experiencing physical pain, is this something that we should be looking at and saying that we should be treating the two as equal?
I mean, we have different words for them for different reasons. They're both clearly very different things. I would agree with most of what Milo said. Obviously, verbal words can